Yes, guys, welcome to our today's class. As you can see, I got serious issues. Uh, I lost my laptop and I'm using one of my laptop where my keyboard is not good and some of the buttons are not working. So I will have some difficulties when it comes to typing, but I will use a virtual keyboard, right? So a virtual keyboard. So you can just understand me. I came from a long trip. So I came from another city to another city. So I still moving from one city to another city. So most of my stuff, I left them somewhere else. Yes, but I'm obliged to do this video today for you guys. So what I'm going to do like today, I'm going to start from scratch. So I will show you how you can first download the simulator that we are going to use. So we are going to use a simulator like in order to practice our computer networks, right? So we need first a simulator. How to download the simulator? You just go to any browser, you're gonna type netacard.com. So if you have already your account, you are going, okay, let me try to share first my screen. It seems like you cannot see. Yes, you can go to netacard.com. You're gonna type netacard.com. So after that, you are going to sign in. When you sign in, or if you don't have an account, you can create an account and it's going to bring you like here. You can see the tabs here. So what you are going now to do, like in order for you to download like our simulator, you can go to resources, right? From the resources, you can go to packets, tracer resources. So we're going to use a simulator called packets tracer. You click there, but there are so many ways. You can even come here, like on download, like packets tracer. So it's much faster. Okay, let's just go to downloads like packets tracer. Yes. Now you just scroll down and maybe you can take 64 bits, because it's going to work on both our 32 and 64 bits processor. You click on 64 bits, but if your computer can only take 32 bits applications, you can go to 32 bits. But my advice for you, you have to go to 64 bits. But if you are using a Linux version, you can go to Ubuntu. So if you are using Mac OS version, you can go to 64 bits to download here. But because we are using a Windows, so I can download here, right? So you download will start. So, and when your download will finish, you can just start your installations. So you are going just to double click and the installation process will start. And when you are done, you can go like here to your desktop, like here. Let me show you here, right? Like here. You can start your package tracer from here, or maybe you can also type here, like on the start button, you click there and you just type package tracer, right? So, and it's going to appear and you just, yeah, so it's here, right? So it's very easy. So you go to netaka.com, you go to resources and you go to download and you choose 64-bit, right? And when you are done, like installing your packet tracer, sometimes they are going to ask you to do what? To to register first, or maybe to sign in. You have to sign in first, like in order for your packet tracer to work. And you're going to see even the simulator looks like like this. So when you start your packet tracer, you are going to see this kind of screen, right, that we are going to be using. So what you have to understand is this: we do have what we call like a simulator and an emulator. For your CCNA qualifications, it's better to use a simulator. A simulator means what? A simulator does like almost 90% or 80% of what the actual device works, right? But because you don't have money to purchase physical devices, it's better to practice with what? Logical devices. It's better to use a simulator. But whatever that you are doing with a simulator, it's going to work like on a real equipment, like physical equipment. But what we call an emulator, the emulator does the same things as the physical equipment. But this, without wasting my time, let's go just straight to the simulator, right? Okay, let me try first to stop sharing. I will, okay, share my screen, the entire screen. Yes. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to use the simulator and how to do your practice, right? And it's very easy. So I will just go through 20 exercises or 20 labs for a junior technician. What you need to know as a junior technician. Just 20 of them, not even a lot. But if you can master the configuration of those 20, you're already like able to be called a junior technician, right? And from there, you can move to CCNA 2, where you can also do 20, and CCNA 3, you can also do 20. But I can guarantee you, by the end of this lab, you will learn something big, and make sure that you are practicing together with my videos. So the first thing, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you how you can start a network with just two computers. So you go here, right? When you're gonna put some notes, you click once, and I'm gonna come there, so I'm gonna click once. So I'm gonna write like connection. I have serious issues. My of two computers. This is my lab number one. Sorry guys, I have like issues with my keyboard, right? So from this exercise, I will show you how you are going to connect two computers, right? So what we're gonna do, right? Guys, do the same things as me. So you are sitting, you got your laptop, you got your packet tracer installed, and you are doing the same thing as myself. What you're gonna do, you're going to come down here to end the devices. You can click once. Once you click once, you are going to see so many devices. You go to PC, you drag and drop two computers, right? When you are done, remember that there are two computers. So I can connect them using a cables or wirelessly. But for now, I'm gonna use cables, right? And you go to connections, you click once. There are so many types of cables like in networking. But for now, because we're still at the beginning, we're going to take what we call a crossover. So this is the Ethernet cable, but that cable is a crossover, right? You click on crossover, you go to computer one or PC 0, you click once, you go to that port where you wanna plug the network interface card. You plug, and you go to the second computer, you click once, you click on fast Ethernet 0. So what does it mean? So it means physically, you go to the first computer, you plug the cable, and you go to the second computer, you plug again, right? but you are using a port, what we call a network interface card, right? Or the network card. You know, when you have your desktop, you have your laptop, most of the laptops or desktops got what we call a network interface card, or the card that will allow you to plug your network cable, right? This is your step number one. Remember, so your step number one, so it's what we call cabling, right? Fish, we'll have to fight with this keyboard. Eh? So step one, I said it's what? It's cabling, right? Cabling. So even if you have 100 computers, 1,000 computers, step number one, you are going to run your cables. When you are done with your cables, step number two, remember, step number two, because you will have so many computers that you need to manage, you have to know how to identify those computers individually, right? So step number two, how to identify those computers or those devices individually, right? This is what we call like IP addressing, right? IP addressing means you are giving specific number or specific address to each computer, like in order for you to locate and to know those computers, right? So we are going to give IP addresses to every device. What is an IP address? It's just a specific address that will allow you to identify a specific device in your network. When you have a camera, your camera must have something to identify it, like an IP address. When you have your phone will require an IP address, like in order to identify it. It's like you have a family, your kids require names, like in order to identify them. The same as the devices, like in your network, they need something that can identify them individually. So what we're gonna do, like from here, I'm gonna put this IP. Don't worry. So if you don't understand what does it mean now, for now, just type it the way I'm giving to you. It's gonna make sense soon as slowly by slowly as you are learning with me. So what I'm gonna do now, so sometimes you cannot like I click here. You have to come first here, and like it will allow you to click. Because sometimes when you are here, so you don't know how to click here. You can go back to select, and you can select PC0. You go to desktop, and you go to what we call like IP configurations. So I'm going to give it like this IP. I don't know. I say 2 here, and the 2, I can put it there. Yeah. So it was 192.168.1.2, and you click on subnet mask. Don't worry. So when you are done with assigning an IP address, you have to click on subnet mask, right? Okay. You go to the second PC, you do the same. You give it an IP address. Okay, and you click on subnet mask. You are done. So this is how to assign the IP addresses to computers using the simulator. But in a real environment, what you're gonna do, you go to each computer, you are giving the IP like addresses. Your senior person, your senior technicians, or your senior engineer will come up with an IP address, and from that IP address, you can discuss, or maybe he can tell you how you are going to give to other computers. Now, from step number 3, step 3, what you must do, you have to test the connectivity, right? So step number 3, you have to test the connectivity between those computers, right? Very easy. Step number 3, you have to test the connectivity between those computers. What you must do for testing the connectivity, there are different ways, but you can go to command prompts. So I'm gonna go to this computer first. You go to command prompts, and there is a command for testing the connectivity between devices. That command is called ping. So I'm gonna type like ping, followed by the address of the destination. It was 192.168.1.3. It's like when you're gonna call somebody, you are going to precise like his phone number using your own phone. So when I got my computer, I want to know if my computer can talk to that other computer. What must I do? So I can go from my computer, and I'm going to use a command called ping space the address of the destination, the address of the computer that I wanna check so if my PC can communicate with that PC, right? And you're gonna press enter, right? When you press like enter, you must be able to interpret this message. You see the reply. The reply will come from where? From the destination computer. This byte, this 32, shows the size of the packet, the size of the message that you send to that person. 9 milliseconds, right? So your message took 9 milliseconds for going and coming back. Sometimes when you wanna know if your network is slow or fast, you can try to change the size of the message to see how many seconds it's gonna take, or millisecond or minutes, all right? When the packet becomes bigger, when your message becomes bigger. This 128, we call it like time to live. So after like 28 seconds, your message will be discarded from the network to avoid like your network to be congested, right? But for now, don't worry. And you can also look at here, packet sent for, you sent for message. Packet is just the name of the message that you send. And the destination received 4. Lost was what? 0. So the communication is fine. So this is how, guys, slowly by slowly, you can connect to computers. Let me show you using wireless. From the wireless perspective, let me take the same desktop. All right? Normally, when you have a desktop, you can buy a wireless card. When you buy a wireless card, that wireless card can be like external or internal, right? So what we're gonna do, we have to add like a wireless card on those desktops. You click there, right? You can see here, you have to switch off first your computer. You click here on red, and you can take this wireless card, so drag and drop, or you remove first what is there, and you bring back that one, and you switch it on again. When you are done, you can come also to the second one, you switch it off, because when you wanna add a wireless card, you have to switch it off first. You remove that card, what is there, in order like to have a space, and you add a wireless card, you bring it on again. All right? So this is how you can add what we call a wireless interface card on those particular computers, especially those 2 computers, right? Yeah, this one is on. Okay, now we can assign like IP addresses to those 2 computers. You must go to static, because by default, they're gonna try to get their own like IP. You can give them the IPs. Okay, this one I can give it 3. Uh, it went out. I have start over. Okay, and this one I can give it 4. Mm, mm, okay, .1, .4. Oh, I still making mistakes here. What I want like 2 there. .4. Okay, fine. So this is how you can add like wireless card, but we are going to see later on how you can use those wireless, right? This is how to add like a wireless card to a desktop, right? So let's see if there's a possibility for us to ping or to test the connectivity. My keyboard is giving me trouble. I don't know, it was 4, right? So we are trying to test the connectivity to that other. You see that they won't gonna work. Why it's refusing? Because there is no signal, right? You cannot see waves. But if I can add like a wireless equipment here, so when you click here, you come here to wireless, right? So you click here, you come to wireless. You're gonna see what's gonna happen. This is a wireless router, right? You can see from here, there's a communication loop. So those are the waves. So if you have a special like, equipment, when you have your laptop or your phones and you have a wireless router or a modem, there's a possibility from your laptop to see those signals, right? But we are not there, right? Okay, this is how I want to just to show you first how you can add like a wireless card to a desktop, right? Now, let's go to a new project. I don't need this new project. It's gonna be lab 2. We are connecting computers. So what I'm gonna do here, I I have trouble. Let me use the virtual keyboard. Yeah, a connection of multiple computers using a switch. So from this exercise, lab number 2, remember that like I do have 20. So I will show you how you're gonna use one of the equipment that we call a switch. It's a network device, right? Slowly by slowly, we are moving. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drag and drop 4 computers, but it depends, it can be 100, it depends on the capacity of the switch. And you click here on network devices, you click here down on switches, and you can take the 2960. So This is a Cisco switch code 2960, right? Even when you're writing a CV, sometimes you can know that you can specify that I worked on this particular switch, I worked on this particular switch. And when you click like on top of that switch, you can see how that switch looks like, right? You can zoom in, you can see how that switch looks like. Those are the ports where you can plug the computers, right? So if you have a switch, you have to remember, you have to ask yourself how many ports that switch has, right? But we're still at the beginning. Now we are going to connect the computers to the switch. Remember that you can have maybe the whole floor. That floor has maybe 100 offices, right? From each office, you do have computers, and those computers must belong like in the same network. What you're gonna do, you have to run your cables, and you connect your cables to the switches. This is your step number one, cabling. So we are going to do the cabling, running the cables. Even if you do have like 10 floors, like you're going to run your cables. This is what we are doing there. You click on connections. Because we are connecting the computers to the switch, they are not the same. You cannot take like a crossover. We are going to take the Ethernet cable, but this time straight cable, or copper straight. You click on copper straight, don't worry, you are going to understand. There's a chapter where I'm going to teach you just cabling. You go to every computer, you plug, you go to your switch, you can plug wherever you like for now. All right? So you just plug. For now, you just plug. But remember, when you are plugging, make sure that you know, because every port from the switch will have a name, right? So when you go here, you're gonna see for every port, there's a name. When you know the name of a particular port, you will know how to configure it, right? So what we are going to do now, right? First, let me show you how you can configure, like in order for you uh, to see the port's name, you must come to options, you go to preferences, you go to, yeah, always show port labels. Okay, fine. Now you can see like PC2, you plug it to fast Ethernet 0/1, like this one to fast Ethernet 0/15, right? So step number one, it's cabling. You are going to go around buildings, you are running the cable, the cables, you plug the switches and so on, right? When you are done step number one, step number two is IP addresses, right? So maybe here, we're gonna give it maybe, I'm writing on top in order for you to remember what we put inside, but it's not a must. 192.168.1.3/24. The 24 represents the what we call a subnet mask. I don't know. Oh, this one. So, so I cannot copy. When I'm trying to copy, it's deleting. .1.3. Where is it? Slash the 24. This other one, 192.168.1.4/24, the same as this one, 192.168.1.5, the same. This one is gonna be .6 maybe. Okay. You go there and you can move, all right? So what we're gonna do now, you go to every computer, you click on top, you give it an IP address, 192.168.1.3 and subnet mask. The same things, you go here, 192.168.1.4, right? So you do the same to all those computers. And when you are done, right, you have to test the connectivity between those computers, right? You go here, you go at command prompt, you are going to ping, right? .1.4, and you can see a reply from the destination computer. Packet sent 4, received 4, lost 0. Right? Now, this is what you have to do. Suppose like there is a printer. So I can add here like a printer here. You can bring a printer also here. You do the same. Right? You can also add a printer. So, and for you to give a printer an IP address, you do the same. All right? You click on fast Ethernet, you give it an IP address and the subnet mask. That will come automatically, right? But following this structure, like here, your IP can be 192.168.1.4, right? So as an exercise, try to build your own network. And your network maybe can have like 10 computers, like 2 printers. We do have the cameras here, right? There are the cameras, there are servers. You can add and make your own network, all right? So this is from the simulator like point of view, but I can show you how you can ping, how you can test the connectivity using your physical computer, physical device. So you can just come here, you go to CMZ, just type CMZ, then check this. This is an issue with my keyboard. Okay, okay, CMZ is already here. You click on comment prompt, right? So when you are here, right, I can also ping like a particular website. So you can ping using an IP address, or you can ping using a name, right? Like here, I can ping google.com, google.com. So suppose like I want to know if my computer is connected to the internet. I can try to ping a particular website, right? So you can see how Google server or servers can respond. So this is one of the IP address from one of the servers from Google, right? You can see the reply is coming from this one. It's coming from server side, from Google side. You can see that like I've sent 4 and I've received 4, so and my loss is 0. Right? So this is how you can test the connectivity from the computer perspective. Maybe they are telling you like this computer is not like connected to the internet, or this computer cannot print, or this computer can. You can just go to command prompt, you ping the IP address of the destination. Maybe like I want to know why I'm not connected to the wireless access point. So I have to know the IP address of the wireless access point, and I'm going to come to that computer that is not connected, just a ping. But most of the companies, they always block the IP addresses or the ping command from the router side. I will show you later on how you can block some of the command from the wireless access point, from the router switches, like in order to avoid somebody to use those commands. So sometimes you can try the ping command, so it doesn't work. So it doesn't mean like necessarily that there is no connectivity, but maybe those comments are blocked, all right? But it's one of the way you can test the connectivity. Okay, besides that, you have also to know like the IP address of my laptop, right? Because you as a technician, sometimes you wanna fix some of the issues. How will you know? First, you have to know the network configurations of the particular device that we are dealing with. And you can just type this command, like ipconfig. ipconfig will give you an overview of my network. So when you're gonna press like enter, right? So you're gonna see my network configuration. So this is my IP address. All right, you can see 192.168.6.194. How will you know that? You see it says wireless LAN adapter, because I wanna know something about the wireless card. You see? But if I wanna know like about my Ethernet, my cabling side, the cabling side, you're gonna look for Ethernet adapter, right? So you as a specialist, most of the time you must be like careful. Like the network that I'm dealing with, so is it the one that is using a cable or wireless? For coupling, look for Ethernet adapter. So your information will be somewhere here. But if it's for wireless, you see it's here. And the default gateway is the IP address of the device that gave to me the internet access. So the IP address of your modem, you can call it default gateway, right? So this is the IP address of my router, my wireless, etc. But slowly by slowly, you are going to master all those concepts, right? So most of the time when you want to fix like some of the issues, you can try to understand what is the network configurations of this particular laptop. You just go to the laptop, you type ipconfig, you will know. And maybe somebody is using a wrong IP address, that way it is not connected to the network, right? So this is basically what you have to understand, right? But we are from lab number 2, right? We are going to go to lab number 3 because I don't have that much time. I have to go a bit fast in order for you to understand properly. So I will go to lab number 3. I can do it here, right? Lab 3. How to access a switch, right? How to access a switch. Okay. How to access a Cisco switch or a manageable switch, right? You know, there are different types of switches. Some switches are very simple. You cannot do most of the configurations. Their job is just you bring your cables, you plug, and the computers are connected. Those are the unmanageable switches. But here we are going to deal with manageable switches. The switches that we can communicate with. The switches that we can tell what to do, right? So, and remember, what makes the difference between a junior technician and a senior is all about the level of the configuration, right? The level of the configuration. You see the same switch, you can learn it for the whole year, right? Okay, so I will show you how to access a Cisco switch, right? Not only a Cisco switch, but most of the manageable switches. So what I'm gonna do, you're gonna come here from network devices, you click once, you go to switches, you click once, you're gonna take this one, the 2960, you drag and drop, you go again to end the devices, you click once. I can take a laptop, right? And you need a special cable. That cable, we call it a console cable. It's the blue one. You click on console cable. So you're gonna have your laptop. Maybe the server room is there. You need your laptop. You're gonna have what we call a console cable. You plug from your laptop and you go to that particular device, that switch. You look for the port that is called console and you plug there. I have so many switches because I have problems with my switches or my keyboard. And next time I will show you how we are going to configure it physically. You got your laptop. Your laptop must have like a serial port. Sometimes we call it a RS232, right? 200 32. But if you don't have a serial port, you can have an adapter, right? So your laptop must have a serial port. But if you don't have a serial port, you can have an adapter. But these days, most of the switches can be also configured using a USB cable. So don't worry, most of the switches will allow you like also to access using a console cable, like a console cable, but in the form of a USB port, right? So you click here and you go to your switch, you look where it says console, you click on console, right? Let me just check one of the switch that I have here. Really, please. Yes, yeah, this is one of the switch. You can see here, this is the console port. So it's almost blue. You can see it here, blue. And it's written like on top, like console. You cannot get confused. So you're gonna click on, you plug. So you go to your laptop, you plug, you go to the switch, you plug, right? And when you are done, your laptop must have one of the terminal emulator. You need to have one of the terminal emulator. So you are going to go to your laptop, you install what we call a terminal emulator. There are a lot. I'm gonna show you. When you go to the internet, you just type like terminal ish, like terminal or terminal emulator. Terminal emulator. See, there are a lot of them here. All right, let me see list. Okay, let me ask for a list. This I don't know if I clicked. Okay, let me see, because there's no way I can type. Okay, this 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 PUTTY. I don't know, some of them can pronounce it like Patty or Putty. You can just download it here, right? You just type like Patty. It's one of the emulator that you need. You can download it here, right? When you download it, you install it like on your laptop, right? When you install it, let me show you. When you are done, like installing this Patty, see what you're gonna see later on. I'm looking for the pictures, right? So it will show you something like this one, where you're gonna just punch like the IP address and you go to connections, right? So it will show you something like this one, right? But don't worry first about this part, don't worry about it. So later on, I will show you slowly by slowly, right? So you're gonna go to serial, but if you wanna access it remotely, you're going to take this SSH and you precise like the IP address of that device. But if it's physical, you go to serial, and but later on I will teach you, right? So there's Party, there are a lot that you can download, right? But we are not there. So as I said, your laptop must have an emulator. You download that emulator, you install it. You're gonna look for a console cable. You go to your laptop, you plug, and you go to your switch, you plug. If your laptop doesn't have a console or a serial port, most of the laptop doesn't have it. What you're gonna do, you have to look for an adapter. And when you don't have an adapter, most of the switches comes with a USB port. So you can use the USB cable that would come with your switch, right? So now when you are done, you just go to your switch or to your laptop, right? From your laptop, you go to desktop, you go to terminal. This is what you have to do. You go to terminal, yeah, okay, all right? I can make it big. And when you are done, you just scroll down, press return to get started. You press enter and path, you are inside. So this is how to access a switch, the same as a router. Most of the learners got like difficulties when it comes to access like Cisco switches or manageable switches. It's very easy. You have to remember that you need a console cable, you need a computer. Your computer must have what we call a terminal emulator like Party, and you download Party, you install it from like Party, you run your Party, like after plugging, you run your Party, you click on serial, boom, it's gonna bring you here. You press enter, it's going to bring you here, right? First command that you can use when you access your switch, right? You know, like a switch will have different modes, right? A switch will have different mode. I will show you how to move from one mode to another mode, but I will teach you all those modes. You can type enable, 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 all right? Like in order for the switch to go with you to a higher mode where you can do basic configuration, right? You see that this symbol will change to this symbol. So this mode is called a user mode. When you type this command like enable, like it's gonna bring you to what? To the privilege mode, but we are going to see it. You can also tap conf T or configure terminal. Configure, okay, or just short, let me make it short. The conf T. You see, conf T means you are telling the switch to go with you to a higher mode, right? And from here, I can change the name of the switch. I can say my host name, you can say switch flow one, and you press enter. You can see here your name has changed, right? Yes. Yeah. Oh, where is it? Yes, guys. You can see that today I was going a bit fast, and I have troubles using the keyboard, and I have problems with my keyboard. You know, I've been hijacked. I lost my stuff, and so I'm moving from one city to another city. I'm sure that next week I will be like able to do a nice slides, like PowerPoint presentations, and everything that you need in order for my class to be very, very interactive with more exercises. But guys, you have to start from today. Whatever that I did with you, make sure, that you are going to stop where I left from changing the name of the switch. All right. So I showed you that when you access a switch will have different levels, right? From each level, there are things that you can do. But you now, you have to know, how can I go from one level to another level? And what are the types of the configurations I can do from this particular level, right? The Cisco switches are one of the the expensive ones, and those are the best equipment in networking, right? Because Cisco also is the largest networking company. So when you know about the Cisco switches, you are the best in networking field. Thank you very much. I think I have to stop like here. My second lesson, my second video from where we left will be on, like today it's Monday, on Wednesday. But I want to see some proofs that you did something. You got my WhatsApp number, my email address. Show me what you did. Send me the questions where you have, you have struggled, where you struggle. Let's do. Right? So thank you very much. See you next time.